Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? We're gonna kick it off, even though the Premier League and La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga haven't started back yet. We are going to take a look at some of the results because, actually La Liga technically has started with a few games. And also we need to catch up with the MLS, the LigaMX in Mexico, Brasileirão in Brazil, the Canadian Premier League, Australia, etc. And there's quite a few leagues like Ireland, Sweden, that have been continuing to play. So let's check them out. And there's a couple of other things I want to talk about, such as the cups that happened over the weekend, like the Shield in England and the Trophée des Champions in France, which had a very surprising result. We'll take a look at that as well. So let's get started. I'll obviously skip over the Premier League because nothing happened, although actually I will take the opportunity to say, I'll go in this way, look. We'll talk about the Community Shield, which very impressively Arsenal beat Man City 3-0. Calafiori kicking it off. I actually forgot it was on. I rarely watch this match actually. And then Havertz and Ødegaard with goals, but I think people in the commentary and in online things were raving about Christos Tsolis, the young Greek player. Apparently he played for, was it Watford? No, Norwich, that's right. Didn't have a great time playing for Norwich apparently. Went to Germany and then to Belgium. Belgium are just great to develop talent. That league is just fantastic. They buy players in, turn them around and sell them for massive amounts. So then obviously it's Arsenal's game because he had 2 assists to his name, more possession from Man City but a lower XG, more shots and the same amount on target and more touches in the opposition box as well. If you look at the lineup, Man City had all their big players out: Haaland, Foden, Doku, Semenyo, Kovacic, Anderson was playing his first game, Husanov was back, Donnarumma, Vardiol, Diaz. So yeah, they had a full team out. Obviously people will be, I wonder how the World Cup will affect players like Haaland not having much of a summer off. With they've got to get going with a really long season again. But very impressive from Arsenal all the same. Havertz up front, Madueke, Ødegaard, Guimaraes playing his first match for them, although it looks like he came off just after half time. Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, Gabriel, Mosquera and Ben White, who's back for the team, David Raya in goal. And there seem to be quite a lot of substitutions, but Declan Rice came on for Guimaraes. Hincapié, Saka, Thubimendi and Gyökeres. Grealish played a game for Man City again. Mamouche, Gay, obviously he will be a first pick in the back line when he's fit. Rico Lewis, Shirky and Nico Gonzalez. And they've also purchased Geronimo Rulli, a player that I rate in goal. Mikel Merino, however, didn't get on the pitch, and he's probably one of the best players there at the minute, the World Cup winner. So well done to Arsenal. And obviously no Premier League. We'll definitely dive into the Championship in just a second, but before I forget, because it's something I will if I don't look at it. The French League hasn't started back yet. However, I wanted to talk about this result, which I thought was quite significant, because I think Paris Saint-Germain have won maybe like the last 5. I think this article that I read earlier, Newcastle United fans, do you remember this guy who turned up in the tuxedo when he signed? Thauvin. So Florian Thauvin scored the only goal before they had a player sent off. So yeah, they 7 minutes after their goal, they had Kylian Antonio sent off. Fabian Ruiz had an offside goal before Nuno Mendes was sent off, but they managed to hang on with very little possession. As you can imagine, Paris Saint-Germain against 11 players will have an enormous amount of possession. But yeah, they've beaten them. So number 2 in the league last year. Maybe they're ready to make another push. They've obviously got Champions League football this year to Lens, so we'll see how that affects them. But I'm waiting for one of the French teams to step up. A Monaco, Marseille, Lyon. Maybe it'll come from Lens. We'll see. Okay, let's then focus on the English divisions. So at the minute, very obviously after one match, but that would be QPR fans would love to see that, wouldn't they? So QPR are top, Swansea are third. I would, I'd give my right arm for that. Well, maybe not third, second would be nice. And, it's all arbitrary at the moment. Let's have a look at the results from round 1, though. So we got kicked off with recently relegated from the Premier League Wolves, and Jimenez already paying back with a goal to draw it in the 93rd minute. Quite unlucky for Blackburn, and obviously they would have loved to have got a very important victory against a team that's very highly thought of to go back up, particularly after the disappointing season that they had last season. But it wasn't to be. A draw is what they had. Bolton, a win back in the Championship. They've been away for quite some time, so former Premier League team Bolton, of course. JJ Okocha, Sam Allardyce's team, obviously. Dalby and Gale beating Preston 2-1. Surprisingly, Bristol City losing at home. The Robins tipped to be in that top 8. Of course, it's just changed this year, top 8 now on so teams 3 to 8 are going to be in the playoffs, which makes it a lot more exciting, actually, much more to play for. And one of the reasons I think Swansea could get into a playoff, not necessarily promoted, but into a playoff, but Millwall carrying on where they left last year, unlucky not to go up really, and Coburn scoring 2 goals. Charlton beating Derby 2-1. Middlesbrough originally were losing at home to newly promoted Lincoln. They are many people's favourites to go up this year, but I'm going to say that about 8 times because apparently everyone's going up this year, depending on who you ask. So Reach with that early goal, they must have thought Christmas had come early, but Lancashire with 2 goals, one in the 91st minute to win it at home. Norwich, another one of those teams tipped to do well this year, losing at home to West Brom. So Hegerbier and Morgan with the goals, with Kvistgarden only just getting a consolation at the end. QPR beating Portsmouth 3-1. We have not beaten Stoke in a millennia, and we also never win our first game of the season. Stoke have not lost their first game of the season for quite some time, so to win this, actually, everyone's buzzing in the city. Swansea are, that's an excellent start. Uboku looks really good, and Ida, I'm so happy for him because he had a terrible season with injury last year, so it's fantastic. Vipotnik did his usual thing, he didn't actually do anything. I think Sheffield United are after him, but as long as we've got Ida, I don't mind too much if he goes, weirdly. Sheffield United, Birmingham 0-0. No, sorry, Hull are after him, not Sheffield United, Hull. Watford beating Southampton, surprisingly, 2-1. The 2 Premier League teams, Burnley and West Ham, drawing 2-2. a 92nd minute equaliser for the home team. And this one tonight, 1-1, the Welsh derby, one of quite a few Welsh derbies with 3 Welsh teams in the English Championship this year. Promotion hopefuls Wrexham beating newly promoted Cardiff, drawing with, I should say, in the capital, with Ruben Colwill scoring a 98th minute equaliser to Welsh international Kiefer Moore's opening goal. League One, Huddersfield, Stockport, Bradford, Luton, Cambridge, Sheffield Wednesday, Mansfield and Bromley with opening day wins. And in League Two, Newport, I knew, got the win as well. Walsall, Barnet, Oldham, Tranmere, York City, wow, that's impressive. Cheltenham, Crewe, Fleetwood and Grimsby, all with opening day wins. Well done to all of them. Okay, the Women's Super League is off season at the moment. I think they start back in like October or something. Scotland played 2 games each. Celtic are top. St Mirren are second. They've got Rangers next. Rangers famously have had this worst start ever, I think, under their new manager. So they are sitting down in 9th. Motherwell continuing to do well, but despite having a change in manager, the new Swedish, I want to say, manager settled in well, and Hearts, with their new manager, the Belgian, finally getting a result after a couple of poor results in European qualifications. The opening day result against Aberdeen, where they lost in the 90th and 95th minute winner. Rangers drawing away to Dundee United, and Celtic beating Dundee 1-0 Nygren with the goal. Celtic then beating Killie 5-1 away from home. Hat-trick from the new boy Hög. Another goal from Nygren. And Hearts beating Dundee United 4-0. Their XG has been pretty good, even though they've been losing matches. So it was only a matter of time before they had a big result. Good luck to the manager. He seems to play a very attacking style. And if the players actually take their chances, they'll probably end up scoring. And then, surprisingly, the other Edinburgh team winning as well. But the most surprising thing was it was in Glasgow. So Hibernian beating Rangers 2-1 with a 93rd minute winner from Wright. In Wales, the Cymru Premier, which is now being broadcast, so I'm watching some matches. You can actually watch it on BBC iPlayer. Surprisingly, because it's an expanded tournament this year, they've made it up to 16 teams. They've got different promotion and relegation rules and European qualification rules. We'll see if it goes to the New Saints as usual. But nice to see Llandudno at the top, the one of the newly promoted. Oh no, were they? I can't remember. And Barry Town in second. Penabont did really well last year. They're in third. New Saints in fourth. Connors Quay, Cardiff Met, and Carnarvon. I watched Carnarvon the other night, and they looked really good at home. The Coffees. Then Airbus, who have done much better. They were the team that finished 2 years ago in the Premier with like minus 16 points, but they've already come back much, much stronger. Then Britain Ferry and Cambridge United in the top 10. Trevelyan down the bottom, 3 losses out of 3 with a goal difference of minus 12. It's Northern Ireland, yeah, Northern Ireland started back up. Cliftonville is top. Larne have only played 1 match because of European qualifications, but Carrick Rangers in second, currently Coleraine in third, Ballymena in fourth, Glentoran in fifth. No matches just yet in the Bundesliga, but we do have the second Bundesliga, which is one of the biggest leagues in Europe, to be honest with you, particularly with some of the most supported teams and biggest stadiums. Nuremberg is first after 2 matches, and Hertha Berlin second, both with maximum points. And then look at some of these teams. Wolfsburg in 4th, Bochum in 7th. Then you've got St. Pauli in 13th, they've got 2 draws from 2. Kaiserslautern, Hanover, some absolutely massive teams down there. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that throughout the season. Serie A has not started. Eredivisie has had 1 match. Alkmaar, 2 matches, excuse me. Only this, that's quite surprising. Alkmaar and Groningen are the only 2 teams with maximum points, but Groningen have got a match with the PSV next. Go Ahead Eagles with that shock result are 3rd, Fortuna Sittard, and then Ajax, PSV and Feyenoord, with ADO Den Haag down in 16th, having been newly promoted, and 2 losses out of 2 for the new manager at Utrecht. The result I was talking about was this one, Go Ahead Eagles equalising in the 80th minute, coming back from 2 goals down away from home in Rotterdam. That's a very good result. And then the other one being so Ajax won that one. Who did they? Oh, they drew at home to Heerenveen with an 82nd minute equaliser from Rivera after Trensko scored in the 45th. So they also 2-0 down in Amsterdam, but managed to get a draw. A couple of matches from La Liga, but they're playing theirs midweek. I don't know why. So Deportivo are currently top. Espanyol and Sevilla also with wins. But it's lovely to see Deportivo A Coruña back in the top flight. Welcome back to you guys. And we've got a couple of fixtures, big fixtures coming up. So technically round 2, even though they haven't played round 1 yet. Real Madrid against Espanyol, the Jose Mourinho era starts. And we've got Barcelona away to Elche as well, and that's going to be on Sunday, and Real Madrid on Saturday. But round 1, weirdly, is being played the following Wednesday, so Real Madrid take on Real Sociedad and Barcelona take on Athletic Club. Okay, let's head away from Europe for just a moment, check in on some of the seasons that have been going on in the background of the summer holidays for us here in Europe. The MLS, Nashville are doing brilliantly. They just had a huge result. We'll take a look in a second. Inter Miami in 2nd, then Chicago, and in the Western Conference, Vancouver are top, Houston and LAFC. LAFC also had a surprising result on the weekend. Top of the Supporters' Shield so far are Nashville. Well done to them. So let's take a look at some of those results that were a little bit surprising. So San Diego, 10 men, San Diego beating Son's LAFC with an 88th minute penalty. And Nashville hammering Messi's Inter Miami. Messi did play, and he missed a penalty as well, which is not like him. And then Nashville took their chances, so Nahar, Mukhtar and Surridge, yes, Sam Surridge, scoring to make it 4-1 against Inter Miami and take the top spot in the MLS. So, well done to them. And then you got the Canadian Premier League. Cavalry are top after 17 matches, 2 points ahead of Forge, Vancouver and Atletico Ottawa. To my Canadian fans, watch this league, and if so, how is the expanded format doing? I think you've got a couple of new teams. Supra du Quebec is new, and maybe Vancouver FC is new as well, potentially. How's it going into Toronto? Are they new as well? Actually, I can answer my own question. No, they're not. Apparently, oh, but Vala was in the league. Okay. Last year. And they're not this year. Okay. Although there doesn't seem to be any relegation. Okay, weird. And Serie A in Brazil. Palmeiras are top, although their form is a little bit wobbly. 3 points ahead of Flamengo. Atlético Paranaense doing very well in 3rd and Fluminense in 4th. My fave team, Atlético Mineiro de Minas Gerais, in 8th, having a couple of decent matches. Down the bottom, Internacional, Remo, Vasco da Gama and Chapecoense. Recent results in this league: Fluminense beating Palmeiras 3-2, that would have been a big match. Atlético Paranaense drawing with Red Bull, Sao Paulo drawing with Coritiba, Chapecoense drawing with Bahia 3-3, Atlético beating Grêmio 3-0 with 2 goals from Coelho, Vasco da Gama losing to Santos 3-0, Barbosa, Arau and Beres, and then we can see on the thumbnail the man himself, Neymar. Flamengo hammering Mirassol 5-1, 2 goals from Pedro, featured in the picture there. Vitória beating Botafogo, 10-man Botafogo. Corinthians losing at home to Cruzeiro, 2-1, goals from Rodriguez and Wanderson. And at midnight we'll see Internacional against Remo, both in the relegation zone, of course. Liga Profesional, after 5 games in Argentina, Group A in the Clausura has Instituto at the top, Independiente in 3rd, and Boca down in 10th. They are, but it's very close. And in Group B, Argentinos Juniors are top, Belgrano in 2nd, then we can see Tigre in 8th, and Racing Club in 12th, River Plate in 14th. With 1 win and 4 losses to their name, crikey. There's a little bit of a difficult start for the big 2 of Boca and River. And recent results, let's have a look. Boca drawing with Club Atlético Platense, 1-1, Merentiel saving them with the 80th minute equaliser. But River Plate got that 1 victory after 4. Against the top team as well, Montiel and Correa with the goals. Angel Correa, of course, formerly of Atletico Madrid. And Liga MX, we got at the top of the table, Club America after 4 matches, no losses, as well as Tijuana, well done. Monterrey having a better time of it after the last performance from them wasn't very good. Then Atlas as well, also with 9 points. Pumas went the whole way in 6th. Cruz Azul, who are current champions, in 9th. Pachuca and León in 13th and 14th, and Tigres with no wins after 4 matches down in 16th. Let's have a look at some fixtures. So Monterrey beating Juárez 6-1 with some goals from Cowpers, the Dutchman, is it? Yeah. Was he Belgian? I can't remember. Ocampos and Rodriguez as well. Pumas drawing with Querétaro. Atlas beating Tigres 2-1, goals from Capasso and Esteves. Club America beating San Luis 3-0. Vega, Perea and Arriaga. And Cruz Azul losing to Tijuana. Rivero and Mora cancelling out Ibanez's 45th minute goal, which was an equaliser at the time. Gilberto Mora, that young wonder kid, the man of the match. Take a quick look at the Allsvenskan, because after 17 matches, Sirius are 9 points ahead. Allsvenskan is getting a different winner every season at the minute. Very exciting. Hammarby and Häcken are the chasing pack, but they are miles away. Are we going to have has Sirius ever even won? No, they've never won the league. And the last time they were a runner-up was 1924. So, like 102 years ago, if my maths serve me right, which they probably don't. So that could be a really massive talking point. Malmö are down in 7th, Mjällby 11th, and Göteborg in 12th. Djurgården 6th, Ek in 4th. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird season in Sweden, wow. Ekstraklasa, I've been watching the Ekstraklasa. This season, so Legia Warszawa is starting much better than last season. To be honest, if they have the form that they had at the end of last season, they should win the league. Górnik Zabrze are in second, Lech in third, and Pogoń Szczecin in fourth. Zagłębie Lubin with a big win, we'll have a look at that, in second, in fifth. Jagiellonia Białystok in seventh. And then we've got Śląsk in 12th, after they have been promoted again. But Raków Częstochowa down in 18th with 3 losses from 3 games, surprisingly. So Legia beating Radomiak Radom 5-0, 2 goals from Kapustka. Zagłębie in the derby beating Śląsk. They were losing to Samiec Talar, but in the second half, a stunner from Choluka and Szabó with a goal in the 85th minute to win it for the home team. Łódź, Widzew Łódź losing at home to Korona Kielce 2-1. The away team Fassbender always left is left acting and come to the Polish Football League. And then Cracovia beating Raków Częstochowa 2-0, Hasic and Pila with the goals. And Górnik Zabrze's 10 men beating Wisła Kraków 2-1, Sadiłek and Chlan with the goals. Russia has begun back as well. They're 4 games in. Krasnodar are top. Zenit and Spartak, as well as Dinamo Makhachkala with a big win, with 9 points. And down the bottom, Akhmat, Grede Sovetov, Akron and Fakel. And Spartak beating Baltika 2-1. A little bit fortunate. Baltika did hit the post. Ugalde and Solari with the goals. And where's Ireland gone? Where have we got Ireland? There you are. I missed you. Shamrock top, as usual, by quite some way. 13, no, I can't do maths. 17 points ahead of St. Pat's and Bows in third. Dundalk, Shelbourne, Derry City make up the top 6, and Drogheda and Sligo down the bottom. Recent results, so Shelbourne losing home to St. Pat's, Olusanya and Brown with the 2 goals for the away team. Derry beating Sligo, Cotter and O'Reilly with the 2 goals. And Shamrock beating Dundalk 3-2. Watts, Noonan and Afolabi. Did Afolabi used to play for the Bows? Is it the same player? Afolabi, Korea. Yes, he did. That's my knowledge of the Irish Premier League there. And the Bows lost away to Waterford 3-1. Lonergan and 2 goals from Amond. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. We could keep going, obviously. We didn't talk about Norway. Bodø Glimt top. Viking 1 point behind. Of course, it was the opposite way at the end of last season. Viking beat them by like 1 point at the end of the season. Tromsø and Molde. And I think that's more or less it. A-League. Oh, they haven't played yet. They're starting back soon. J-League 2 matches in Machida, Zelvia and Sanfrecce are the top. And they've gone back to the normal 1 League of 20 after that last year's 100-year anniversary version. And in the K-League, we've got FC Seoul after 23 matches. Top Ulsan and Gangwon in second and third. Incheon in 8th, and Gwangju at the bottom. Okay, I'll have a video soon when we learn a little bit more about the Champions League, Conference League and Europa League. But for the moment, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe and join me on Patreon. Okay, thank you so much. Take care everyone, and are you excited? The Premier League and all the other leagues are starting. See you then.